All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is David Locke. I'm a prize director at the XPRIZE Foundation. And just curious, by show of hands, how many people are familiar with XPRIZE? Okay, got a few hands. Awesome. So I'm going to go through this part quickly and just talk a little bit about XPRIZE, some of our history, and then Jackie Mori, our technical director of the competition, is going to talk specifically more about the ANA Avatar XPRIZE. So just quickly, XPRIZE essentially runs competitions for breakthroughs in technology. We'll identify a problem or a particular technology that we'd like to see a breakthrough in, and we incentivize the world really to come in and solve that particular problem. So at the end of the day, we believe that solutions can come from anyone, anywhere in the world. The idea of XPRIZE really came from this man here. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Charles Lindbergh, but in 1919, there was a competition to spur breakthroughs in the aviation industry. So this gentleman launched a prize. It was a $25,000 prize for the first flight that could fly nonstop between Paris and New York. Many people tried over the course of the almost 8-year competition, but Charles Lindbergh essentially came out of nowhere. This was a man who had very little funding, very little experience, and was able to fly the first nonstop flight between New York and Paris, and immediately became a hero and really opened up the aviation industry as we know it today. So taking from that model, our CEO, Peter Diamandis, launched the Ansari XPRIZE. Peter always wanted to go to space, but no, he didn't have the physical capabilities to be accepted through the NASA program. So his idea was to open space tourism up to the world. So he held his first prize, which was the Ansari XPRIZE. And the idea was that essentially you could fly just out of Earth's orbit twice. Two times within a period of 2 weeks. And this was essentially, this was won in 2004. It was a $10 million competition. It was won in 2004. It was won by Burt Rutan. And that technology ended up being purchased by Virgin, is what we now know today as Virgin Galactic. And since then, we've gone on to run a number of competitions, including the Google Lunar X Prize. You may have noticed last year that the Israelis made an attempt to land on the surface of the moon, and they came oh so close. They crash landed into the surface at the very last moment, but they were part of our $30 million Google Lunar X Prize. So again, as you can see here, we're having these breakthroughs in technology. We offer up large cash prizes to incentivize people to have breakthroughs in technology. So this is just some of our numbers here to date. We've now run 12 prizes. We've awarded $70 million for some of these breakthroughs, and we are always actively developing and conceiving of new prizes, and that's why we're here today, is to talk about our latest prize, which is the ANA Avatar XPRIZE. And again, I just want to highlight again that just watching this video that we just saw from Gatai here has just been fascinating for me. And I've only been here for, I think, 30 minutes, and I've already learned so much more about this competition we're running. So I just want to point out that Jackie and I will be here all week and would love to hear some of your ideas about this competition, and you'll understand a lot more after Jackie presents.
Thanks, David. So yes, we're going to talk a little bit about the specifics of the ANA Avatar XPRIZE. This prize is a $10 million prize purse that's available for teams. This was sponsored by ANA, a Japanese airline. And everybody wants to know why a Japanese airline would want to disrupt their own technology of aircraft, but to help people get closer, to help people overcome the barriers of that kind of travel. ANA has the foresight to look at the future when we might not have to travel by big tubes in the sky, but we can take our consciousness and put it into an avatar at some distant location. This is a 4-year global competition. We expect people to come up with really brilliant avatar systems. I don't think I have to tell this group what an avatar system is, because we've seen so many interesting examples already this morning of that. But it is that physical robot that we can, as an operator, transport our senses into, so that we have that sense of presence at a distant location. Why that Avatar XPRIZE? Well, as David said, the idea is to incentivize the development of technology that is probably not going to happen through private industry. So we want to incentivize people to bring different technologies together that can then be something that maybe doesn't have a completely commercial aspect available right now, but will in the future. So bringing these kinds of expertise together in ways that we might not see ordinarily is what XPRIZE does best. How to win is to create this system that brings all of our senses together into that remote avatar. So seeing, hearing, interacting, but mostly connecting. The important part is the connection. So it's not really about the robot itself, it's how that robot facilitates human-to-human connection or human-to-a-need connection. And of course, we see all kinds of technology being integrated for the successful avatar solution. This is just a small sampling of them. Certainly, there are lots more technologies that underscore the logistics and the capabilities of creating these robots, but these types of technologies are probably the top level ones. Now, how are we going to be able to use these avatars? Well, we see a number of examples of how the avatars will be used. First of all, as I said, the human-to-human connection. It can also connect humans to a need at a remote location, or allow humans to bring their skills to a remote location in a way that they couldn't before. We see them as providing care, so certainly this is an example of how avatars are going to be used extensively in the future to help us care for our loved ones at a distance, to help us care for people in remote locations. For disaster relief, this is a typical use case that Kurosh actually mentioned, where you have very dangerous situations, you have radiation, you can't actually send a human into those locations, but you can send an avatar that can take that human's expertise and do what needs to be done in that location. Exploration, again, we've seen a few examples of taking these avatars to space to be able to go to places where humans can't go, put them on a place where we couldn't go without a spacesuit, we couldn't breathe, but the avatar, the robot, can do those things for us with the human controlling them. Now, we're very excited about this competition. We have been working on it for about a year and a half now, and we've just closed registration on September 30th, and we're really proud to announce that we have 91 teams from 21 countries signed up. And that exceeds our expectation, because these are really high-level teams. We can't talk about them too much here, but you've seen at least one of them already this morning.
Can I jump in here real quick? And just to say quickly that this number is just actually a little bit behind. We're actually closer to 100. And we're finalizing some of the numbers now with the teams, but we're very, very happy with that number of teams who had registered. And just real quick, do we have any teams in the room with us here today? We do. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'd love to catch up with you this week while we're here.
Yeah, and we have closed registration, but there will still be a couple of kind of wild card opportunities for teams to join in before the actual physical testing dates that are happening. We're all over the globe, which is also wonderful. We didn't want to have, everything be from United States or from one country. So we're really happy for the distribution of teams. And this is our timeline. Now, this chart is a little behind, too, because we're just past the closing date for the registration. And the next step is probably one of the most important, because the next step is the qualifying submission. All teams who have registered, who've paid their registration fee, have a month to get in a qualifying submission, which is a listing of all of the things that they're doing, of the status of where they are, of the capabilities of not only their robot, but the team members. And this will be the first down select that the judges who are working with us on the ANA Avatar XPRIZE will use to see who goes on to the semifinals. So we have a very stellar panel of advisors, which you can see if you go to avatar.xprize.org. And we also have quite a few stellar judges, one of whom is in the room, who shall remain anonymous, and are looking for more. So as the competition progresses, we will be looking for more judges to come to the in-person events and help us judge the solutions that teams have come up with for the Avatar Prize. I want to talk a little bit about the competition partners. We have been working very hard to bring different companies into working with us for the benefit of the teams. So this will be a way that teams can get things like discounts on certain equipment, or even maybe some mentorship and other donations, fundings. We're looking for this all the time for our teams. And I want to just show you a little bit about what one of the partners has done. This is actually a consortium of... Let me stop that for a minute while I finish talking. So we have a consortium of SynTouch, Haptex, and Shadowhand, and together they've put together this system. And I don't know how many of you have seen this system, but Jeff Bezos was very, very impressed by the system. So this is him using a two-handed version of this, which gives him full haptic feedback and very dexterous control of the robot hands. He was delighted he could actually feel that handshake. And it's that kind of feedback, that kind of connection, that kind of delight and surprise that you're actually interacting with someone that is controlling this robotic avatar, which is at the heart of this XPRIZE. Yes, we know that the technology about building the robot is incredibly important, and there are many, many technical problems to solve there. But in the end, it's how much do I feel I am really interacting with another human being. I mean, I'm here for a reason today. I'm here because I could have given you a video, but there's something about that human-to-human connection that is so critical and so important for us as humans. And that is what we really want the ANA Avatar XPRIZE competition to bring to the world. So we can imagine in the future we'll live in a world where these avatars are everywhere. They're as abundant as some of those scooters on the side corners of the streets of LA right now. But easy to access, easy to use, easy to get us where we want to go. And the question then is, what will your avatar do? So connect with us at avatar.xprize.org. Follow our hashtags, send us questions, get involved with the competition, see if you can find teams that still are looking for members, because there's a lot of opportunities in the next 2 years as we come to the end of this competition. And I think we'll just end right there. Thank you very much.